But it sounds like we are going to be heading into lobbies here soon. So, here, okay, the new graphic. This looks fire.
Excellent.
It's looking good. Looking good. I love
Looking
this.
good. Fall Guys winning the. Well, I don't know who won the coin toss, who got to pick, but somebody picked red or blue side. Team Unknown picked red side in this
Interesting.
case.
Interesting that they're picking red side. To me, that is showcasing like their preference of having that R5 pick, which that's kind of like the push and pull of ban phase and winning the coin toss, right? Is do you want
Yes.
a first pick or do you want the last pick? There's a couple other niche things as you get into the higher levels, but at this
A little bit
level,
of
that's
Dragon
where my question
or
is, you
Baron
know?
Prio.
Yeah, well, also like the way that bans work of like the red
Yeah.
side has to take the L of like banning the Aurora and Yone like we're seeing right now in Worlds versus blue
Yes.
side can maybe do more of the target bans. But I don't think we're going to be really seeing that. I think we're going to be just seeing a lot of target bans overall, and we're seeing that right now. Janna Hui on one side and Draven Vigar as the
Let's
other.
see. Let me pull up the stats for these guys here. Team Unknown. Here we go. Let's see. So Team Unknown is banning the Draven and Vagar. And being the Hui makes sense. Hui getting 10 abilities is pretty strong anyway.
He's a pretty solid champion. I don't know how he's looking right now with this current patch. I will say one thing I want to point out is Fall Guys is banning Janna and Braum. To me, exposing that we really want to play something hard engaged, and Team
Yes.
Unknown
We're
doing a great
we're
job of
looking at the
covering
support
that.
bans.
Yeah, with the Nocturne ban to cover that, you know, Braum and Janna pretty good at covering any Nocturne pairings. So Nocturne being off the table, denying that sort of leeway. But Fall Guys with the first pick Jhin, and it's gonna be followed with an Ornn, which is a Jhin's worst nightmare.
Yep. Oh goodness, that Jhin tries to ult and Ornn can counter ult pretty easily. Leona hover, that can be always a strong pick.
Wow.
Yeah,
This
bad guy
Jhin
team up
hates his
picks
life.
Leona
This is gonna be
or Corona.
a Lord Dominus regards second item Jhin, from what I am seeing,
Yeah,
because those are some beefy HP bars. That's why you don't really see Jhin being picked early on, is because it's showcasing, hey, I'm gonna have a very lack of damage on my AD side, and it's gonna force
yeah.
the mid or top to bring out some more shred, but they're gonna opt for a Mundo instead.
Get a little bit of beef on your side with the beef on the other side. I can respect that. What is that name? Low candle. What? Lock and load. That's what it says. I was saying like
Oh.
Loca ND something. Yeah, lock and load. That makes more sense. I'm reading too hard into this. Oh, so
Volibear.
another big beefy bear. The bear and the
I
ram.
I've been hearing a lot of rumors that Volibear is quite good. I will say though, so far the Fall Guys are falling into a trap of a lot of, and I've said this a lot already, but a lack of damage. So far,
Yeah.
I mean, Jhin does a decent amount of damage once he's third item, fourth item, but to Ornn and Leona, not really. You kind of
Yeah.
need some more damage on your jungle and your top side, but when you're Mundo and Volibear, these two champions that, I mean, Mundo does a decent amount of damage and stat checks pretty well, but Volibear, once it's past 15 minutes, he's not really doing that much damage. So far, I'm a little worried about that side of the
Yeah.
composition.
So it was an interesting first pick to pick up the Jin. I'm wondering what they're trying to figure out who their support pick is going to be because like we pointed out earlier, they're really targeting the bans for this, and so they're putting a lot of effort into drafting around this bot lane right now. Uh, we did see Calavera picking up the death, not the death, the Vayne, going to cause a
Love
lot of
it.
death, I guess.
Yeah, I love this Vayne pick. I mean, so far they haven't showcased anything that can kind of really counter it, other than the Volibear, like a flash Q. But Vayne has a lot of movement speed, a lot of ways to get away from the Volibear, and she shreds this comp so far. I'm
Yeah,
really worried about the support pick here. It's starting to get pinched a little bit, but with Rel being on the table, Alistar's a little awkward, especially into Vayne. And also Rel's awkward into Vayne. You kind of need something like a Leona, but with Leona being picked away, I don't know. Maybe you can do an enchanter with Jhin, you know, like a Jhin Karma, but then again, your comp is slowly not scaling, and a lot of
yeah,
question marks for me.
yeah. Like when one of my favorite picks to pick along with Jin just to give stats is Janna, but you banned away the
Hmm.
Janna from yourself on that. So like I'm trying to figure out what is based on how the draft is going. Team Unknown, it has some very solid picks so far. We're gonna see how the last
Oh,
half goes.
that's such a good pick. That is such a good pick.
They're punishing this Jin pick.
I love that. And also, Udyr shreds Mundo and Volibear. Because Udyr can, double R with Leandry's first item and going tank after that. He's going to be able to out-sustain and outfight or outrun these two tanky members of Fall Guys, these stat-checking members, and also just deal more damage.
He can also just go in with the Vayne and just shred anybody they feel like.
Viktor? Oh,
Interesting pick. It is the mid lane pick, sure, but I wanted to see like the lock in of the support. It's a brand
support.
so they're gonna try to blow people up, except there's a lot of tank on the other team.
Yeah,
It's an interesting pick.
I do like the brand. I think in the vacuum of we need something to deal with this Ornn and Udyr and Leona, brand, I mean, I don't like its support, but it's something to deal with it. However, having Viktor, Brand, and Jin, this Ornn ult and this Leona ult is going to be deadly because they can kind of just run past Volibear and Mundo and go to these immobile carries and blow them up. If Udyr is in your face, Brand can't really do anything. And that's going to give Anivia and Vayne so much space to work with in the backline because they don't have anything to threaten them.
And since if they're already immobile, there's a lot of punishing CC without even going to hard CC on Team Unknown side already. So you're already immobile and you're going to be slowed down even more. I would love to see the Fall Guys prove me wrong, because that's honestly one of my favorite parts about casting. But it's looking like a very interesting play for them to see how they work around the weaknesses and try to get their strengths to show. But it's gonna have to be trying to scale to late game. But even scaling into late game, Vayne also hyperscale.
And Anivia and Udyr and Ornn items on top of that.
I keep trying and I'm not seeing it just yet. It's gonna be.
For me, the devil's advocate for Fall Guys so far is if they get control of space, if they get Dragon River control or Baron River control, it's actually kind of difficult for Team Unknown to walk into them. They have to use Ornn ult and Leona ult to be able to get into that space because they have Jin traps to play off of and that Jin utility. They have brand abilities that they have to eat. They have the Viktor poke that they have to eat as well as the Mundo that can just slow them down and just sit in their face while their 80 carries are hitting Dragon. In the way. Right. But like I said, they have a lot of tools to get past that. They have the Ornn and Leona go buttons that are very obvious. Whereas Fall Guys, what is their engage tool? Volibear running at them, maybe flash Q or a flash ult. But at that point, that's also going into Anivia, Vayne, and Leona, and I mean, just all 5 of them love people coming into them. And then how do you follow up?
We might be seeing something like in just a very aggressive early. I mean, it's brand, so it's very aggressive early. Gank with the Volibear at level 6, stop the tower, and try to dive, and then just take the tower early, and then just win the early game so hard that you're able to just snowball it all the way to the end. But it won't take a lot of effort to be able to stall. So like you have to hit hard and fast. That's really the only play we're going to see. So which means we're going to get the Progenitor special of we're going to see a lot of death happening in the first little bit of the game as well as all throughout. So that's exciting.
Yeah, my eyes, and you mentioned it, my eyes are going to be bot lane this whole time.
Yeah.
Because I think the Fall Guys' only win condition is playing through bot, like you're mentioning. They're the only team, or the only part of the map that kind of have push in this. They're the only lane that have a lot of push. I think Mundo can maybe fight for push, but it's a little awkward. Bot lane really wants to fight for push.
Yeah, but Mundo and Ornn are going to be happy to just kind of lane against each other pretty much all game, and then it'll get to late games like, oh yeah, okay, there's gonna be a Nexus open at some point.
I will say though, if the Team Unknown get 1 kill bot lane, if Leona and Vayne can just start getting accelerated by 1 like early gank or just 1 mistake from the Fall Guys of like blowing up QZ on Brand, which is very possible, the game's just over. I feel like if Vayne gets an early lead like that, the game is really impossible. So they have to play on a knife's edge almost in the bot lane, play very smart, very methodical, and make sure that they do not get hit with a Zenith Blade.
It's gonna be very rough to just see how fancy are your feet, Jhin. I know you like to count to 4, but what if it's a waltz?
Ooh, a little 3-4 action, which Leona, you know, likes to play in 3-4. She also likes to play Flash Q.
Yeah,
which is my favorite tempo, but we'll just have to see. I also like, personally, if I'm Kioro, I am looking at just flash queuing Brand because less HP, less base resistances, and you know, at the beginning of 2024, which feels like 5 years ago, they removed those minor armor and MR parts of the runes, and so it's all up to base rune or your base stats, and Brand does not have that much, especially post nerfs. Now that they've been targeting the Brand jungle meta, taking that away a little bit, he's been getting reduced pretty majorly. I believe his armor was nerfed as well as minion damage. So Vayne, if he's able to do like an auto Q auto, E into the wall off of Leona's stun as well, pretty scary.
Yeah, we have standard spread from Team Unknown. They're not looking to invade anytime soon, which Fall Guys were hoping for with that big old 5 stack in the bush. I'm wondering if Jhin took the cull just to try to get more aggressive. It's trying to see if there's some of the items come up here.
Bot lane is oh, I'm not the biggest fan of this play already. I feel like Fall Guys should be not letting Team Unknown into the lane at all. You see sometimes higher level supports or even just teams as a whole will fight for the middle bush of a bot lane or a top lane that's really volatile because that middle bush, you know, gives you a lot of space in lane to play off of. And so them giving up that space and also taking time to hit the red buff instead of hitting the wave, to me, already showing that they're maybe not understanding the win condition of their lane.
Yeah. I mean, looks like I was a little bit wrong about the top lane matchup. They both took grasp. So they're going to try to fight each other a little bit more than I expected. But it's going to be a wet noodle fight most of the time.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like it's just, hey, while you hit the minion, I'm going to hit you. Thank you for the HP, and then I'm going to let you hit me later on, so you
just
get
trade
HP.
HP back and forth.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, oh, there's the Zenith Blade. It's going to be hit with a W from Brand immediately and a lot of damage from the Jhin. That's a lot of good early damage. Great combo from both sides. And it's the early game Brand Jhin. And going to be an instant straight top as well. But
it's what they need to see.
Yep.
The follow-up by Calavir was really nowhere to be seen. They probably could have taken that, or when the follow-up didn't come up right away, just walk away. You didn't have to die to that. But Fall Guys, we take those. The Fall Guys. Here it comes, a gank in the top lane.
It's going to be the Volibear stun. The E from the Ornn is going to get a little bit of distance. There goes the flash, but it can be easily found with the red buff. But he's able to trade the Q through the ground. It's going to secure a free B against East Phantom. Both sides have TP, but a 1-for-1 if you're Ornn here is mighty fine.
Yeah, Bear is very happy about that play. Bear is happy to fight through the bear and kill the Mundo anyway.
Yeah, and I mean, it's
I gotta make the puns if Jahadra is not here.
You're right. I like it. I'm a fan. I didn't catch on to it, to be honest. I'm a little slow because I was looking at this top crab contest because it was Volibear that actually skipped his Gromp to be able to go top, and Udyr looking to trying to deny that trade of the crabs, but Udyr has the first recall if he chooses to use it, but instead might be a gank towards mid. Earlier, bad guy Teemo trying to maybe get some space, but Kioro has the roam timer. I don't think that they can kill. The stun from Anivia is going to get the bone plating at the flash from Kioro, and the stun of Udyr might be doing enough damage. The flash was too early from the Victor, and that's going to secure an early kill, but the Anivia is going to pop the egg. I mean, Still alive, able to crash the wave, but
I was thinking the same thing. Oh, they're not going to be able to kill that. But then here comes Kororo with the Zenith Blade, and
yeah.
just proving us both wrong there. Very good call to be able to try to get some of this momentum back.
It's also a decently late flash, I would say, from Lock and
Yeah.
Load. But hey, you live and you learn. I will say though,
Or you
feels
die and you
quite
learn.
bad. You die and you learn. You TP back with your double amp tone. Your lane opponent probably gonna have Lost Chapter. Oh, it's Anivia. That's right. We're gonna be going Rod of Ages tier. But
There
allowing
it
a
is.
scaling champion like that, having that early lead and also a big CS advantage and playing on your own terms, I don't think Anivia should TP here. Oh, she does anyway. I eat
And
my
he
words, but
decided not to go with the blasting wand and just go a little bit of sustain to start out.
yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like matching the AP with the tier is actually pretty strong here, just so you can keep up with the lane push. But top lane is actually fighting back and forth quite a bit, which scares me if you're Bear. But speaking of bears, Volibear playing towards bot side. It's gonna be dodged. They don't
They're
realize
trying
that
to see
Udyr's right behind
something.
them. Ooh, it's up to the Zenith Blade, but the trap's gonna give it away and force that bot gank to be null and void.
Elijah version 1, Elijah V1.
Stun from Anivia.
Really setting those traps perfectly. They had a kill double trade in the top lane because it was a dive under the tower. Meanwhile, in the mid lane,
It's a flash from Volibear to try to secure a kill onto Death, but Death still has flash. He's able to stun Alpha Milk, set up the kill from Udyr, and with the fancy feet, able to dodge the Volibear storm, but it's the Victor ult that secures the kill. Kyoro unable to get the Zenith Blade, but gets the stun and the Aftershock proc to secure the kill on Lock and Load, and it is a battleground in the middle lane.
right now, Team Unknown up 1 kill, down 400 gold. They're right now. Oh, they're actually thinking they're looking fine. Like having up that 1 kill, they may have given up a little bit of the early momentum, but they just have to get into like mid to late game to start really pushing their advantages. So they're happy with where they are right now, and in fact, taking the Void Grubs is going to be even better for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's like what we were talking about before, Admin. Like, red side should be scaling pretty well, them getting the early objective first. But it's going to be contested, actually. Mundo is going to get knocked up with his boy Volibear, and it's going to be a tussle, but Udyr is very squishy. He still hasn't recalled, and it's 7 minutes in. Here comes the Ornhorn. Anivia trying to deal some damage. It's enough to take down East Phantom, but can Bear secure Alpha Milk? Alpha Milk 5, level 5, has a tunneler, but no teammates around. Has some good damage onto Ornn, but death is good for his name.
Lock and Load walked away. I'm not sure why. Well, like he's got plenty of mana. He's like he came back with the little bit with the Lost Chapter. Like he should be. He would have been able to put a lot of extra pressure on that entire fight.
Yeah, he has no ult. Kyoro was coming in from the back as well. They had the support roam timer advantage. I feel like if he was there, they maybe get one more kill, but I don't think it's winning ever.
That would have been interesting to see it play out with Lock and Load were to stay and focus on champion. Then you disengage when Kororo shows up.
Nonetheless,
I guess he already had spent his wards. He didn't want to.
God.
Here comes the engage onto bad guy Teemo.
oh my god, the curtain call is going to secure the kill, but Cubesy able to get ulti off that kill. It's going to be stunning up Kyoro, a 2-level lead, punishing all the roams that this Leona has been doing, but it's going to be a trade. Calvier, though, is going to be trying to be Gosu here, dodging the W, but here comes the Volibear. The Condemn is going to be eaten, but it's going to be found again. Going to be able to save his life, but a 1-for-1 overall, not too, or excuse me, a 1-for-2 overall, not too bad for Fall Guys.
Solid mechanics from Calivir to stay alive through the ultimate of Volibear.
A bit of a trade mid. I don't think this is going to result in anything permanent, but actually, if he just keeps going forward, I mean, hey, Death has Egg, though, so he's able to play this a little bit more aggressive and has Tier as well as the Catalyst of Aeons, so it's going going to be some sustain, but hey, bad guy Teemo has some bad blood that he wants to find on Elijah V1. The shutdown, 450, and now it's a dragon contest. Alpha Milk is able to get the dragon, but no flash, no ult. This is a little scary time in the pit. CubeZ trying his best to support his teammate, but unfortunately the Volibear unable to find that frenzied maul to get the HP to maybe trade something. Speaking of trading though, it's a constant trade in the mid lane, but this time just some flashes.
Yeah, and you have to burn the flash because, as you said, the Anivia has the egg up, so you cannot trade 1-for-1 on a kill. You have to stay alive. But right now, Lock and Load has a tough time fighting, and he's going to get caught out by a Zenith Blade again, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a permanent slow from Leona and from Anivia. The Volibear attempting at the egg, but it's actually the cannon minion. Goat able to get that down, that passive, but, I mean, at this point, is that enough? A fourth shot, turning back to Calvier. It feels like the jungler and AD carry are actually landing bot lane, while Kioro is able to just destroy the river, which to me, admin, feels strange because I feel like the Jhin and Brand should have control of the bottom river instead.
I mean, they do have a little bit of control because they've got the control ward on it. Well, now they don't.
Which, I don't know. It feels weird that Vayne has push over Brand Jhin. Vayne doesn't have any sort of wave clear, whereas Jhin and Brand have a lot of AoE. I mean, the reason that you pick Jhin is that he can kind of shove you under tower, and you can play as a team, as a 4-3-man unit in the bot side river, and even make plays towards mid, especially with how volatile it is. But now look at bot lane. They can't even touch the wave. It's Brand Wing the melees because Jhin can't even Bouncing Grenade, or Dancing Grenade, excuse me, but might be a bit of a contest towards the top side. Alpha Milk running down Udyr, unable to get the Unleashed E, and it's going to secure a kill. This tanky Udyr is not tanky just yet, and Bear is going to get mauled by his brother, Volibear, onto the tower, and that leads East Phantom to be able to get some plates, and eventually this whole tower with Bear having no TP.
So, looks like some of the plays bot lane have gone, like, back and forth, and so Fall Guys are putting a little bit more pressure on this top lane, and they want to get, looks like they're wanting to get this Mundo to be roaming around, to go where he pleases.
Uh-oh, that's a flashless Anivia. We saw them trade back and forth previously. And the laser ray,
the
death ray.
The egg.
Yep. And that's going to secure top lane grubs as well. I mean, it forced Alpha Milk away from it, but Death knew that Alpha Milk was topside. He saw the play. He could only assume that they were going to get something off of it as well, and they get a bird as well. Chickens for dinner.
Yeah, nice cold chicken in this case. But still, I guess it... I was trying to think of some sort of ice cream joke, but it couldn't make it.
Well, the Faded Ashes might make it a little bit warmer, but instead it's actually going to be the Phoenix of Udyr warming up the victor. But here comes the support of East Phantom and Alpha Milk. The boys are in town, but there's a lot more boys from Team Unknown. A 4v3 collapse, but it's going to lead Fall Guys to get some plates towards bot side. So a trade for trade, but when you're getting 2 kills and mid push, no TP on Victor, you're feeling good for Team Unknown.
Yeah, so yeah, get little some kills, trades some of the plates. They might be able to take 2 plates from that.
Is good. Calvier, no final hour, just a little bit of a trade back.
Just wants to walk away.
Yeah, I mean, they can play their range. I actually feel like they can play this fight. Faded Ashes, but Collector on Jhin already finished with Vayne only sitting on Zerkers and recurve bow and no ult. Not a lot of damage. They could have committed to that.
Is the tower destroyed in the mid lane?
Love it. Love that. That's a huge transition. But speaking of transition, the bot lane transitioning to a mid lane play, punishing Anivia with no flash once again. A pretty easy win condition. Just push mid, use your point and click stun on the bird that has no flash.
Yep. Bird can't fly away that fast.
Oh my god, that Demolish proc is just half of the tower, and with 4 grubs, you're feeling good. But here comes bad guy Teemo from the backside. Bear trying to get some damage in, but there's nobody to chase him down. He is too fast. He's got Warmugs and some boots, and he's just able to walk away.
Corporate Mundo has a meeting to get to.
Oh, and he's just reached all the way back up, and he's ready to push again.
Yeah, I did think that he was gonna do like a go where he pleases as soon as he takes the tower, but no, he's gonna continue shoving the top lane. And it's working out. He almost has that second tower already. However,
It's the Leona ult landing on Cubsy, but he's able to get a little bit of damage on Calvier before he goes down. That's all the Jhin or the brand needs to do, but no follow-up. Alpha Milk, excuse me, not really wanting to commit to that fight. So it might be dragon pressure from Team Unknown, but Lock and Load now behind them. They have the info. Still a 3v4, they're a little bit split, but this seems a little impossible to walk into, especially when it's a Nivea on the other side. Oh. Okay. That's a good ball barrel, you know.
That was unfortunate.
I like being big too. And well, that's gonna lead. Well, I don't know why we're still. Okay, we're just gonna throw an E. I mean, you know, I've seen Gumayushi steal some weird dragons, so I guess we can throw that over there. But no flash available. Nothing really to be found.
Oh, the very strange misplay coming from the Fall Guys. A lot of weird communication issues probably happening right there.
Yeah.
Free dragon for Team Unknown. They're very happy to take that Flame Drake from Jhin.
Speaking of Jhin, he's now building. Oh well, I'll eat my words. Cubsy is on a solo expedition. His whole team is running out of base, and he's caught in the river, a place that brands are not known for, extinguishing the flame.
There's not a lot of vision there, friend.
Yeah, no.
And there's no tower to fall back to.
Yeah, and well, we knew that they were bot side, as they did just take the dragon about 10 seconds ago. We can only assume that he's still there, but I mean, it allows Alpha Milk to get Rift Herald, I guess. Wait, he didn't pick up the eye. Wait, Alpha Milk, he didn't pick up the eye.
Alpha Milk.
Alpha Milk is preferring Ornn for
Really
dinner
wants
instead
that
of the eye, which, you know, a kill's a kill. Oh, it looks like Elijah's gonna go pick up the eyeball. He realizes the mistake. He gets the eye. Okay, we're good. We're
The
good.
eye got picked up.
Phew.
Okay.
I got a little worried.
Yeah, they're just like, yeah, don't. I thought you wanted towers. So where's that gonna go? Top lane or mid lane?
I really wanted to go mid lane. I feel like you're able to do a lot more with the tier 1 mid being down.
Tier 1 mid lane's still up. Yeah. You need to open up the map a little bit more.
Yeah, especially with East Phantom. I mean, no one can really match him at this point. Even Vayne, she has Bork, but like Bork isn't enough for a 2-item Mundo. I feel like he can kind of run him down, especially with Flash available. So he's able to just kind of chill on the side lane. It's mid that needs the help. But speaking of help, Death might be in danger here.
No vision.
Oh my god, that Heartsteel proc is going to do a lot of damage. Can he get the E? One more. Bloody Cleaver is going to be found. It's going to force the flash with the curtain call. Calvier is going to play body block, but Kyoro might be the one in danger now. Fourth shot from the curtain call missing, so that slow is going to be gone. But the condemn out of the ult of Leona is going to save East Phantom. He's good to just proc his Warmogs and eat one potion and live to tell the tale and get some more minions bot lane.
Death was quite fortunate to not get picked up on that one. That's mostly because it's like, tanks aren't well known for their damage unless it's League of Legends.
Especially when it's a Mundo with Warmogs and Heartsteel, and you know his E is based off of, I think it's 100% bonus HP ratio, which is, you know, pretty cool. Speaking of which, we might be seeing that. No mortal reminder or any sort of you know, healing reduction from the side of Team Unknown just yet. So they're gonna run down East Phantom. He's gonna just force the ulti out, but I don't think they can find it. Alpha Milk is in and has some reinforcements. A lot of damage going down towards bad guy Teemo, and he's eventually going to be slain. The flash from Bear is going to maybe help him out a little bit, but Alpha Milk wants some more. Again, find the stun, a little bit of a slow, a bonk, but here comes East Phantom. Kyoro and Calvier are coming in, but it might just be too late. Bear has been slain, and they're looking for more. Calvier is being found from Alpha Milk, but East Phantom has ran the other way. A little bit of a miscommunication. Alpha Milk
this keeps
stunning
happening.
Calvier. He goes, wait a minute, guys, wait, where's my top laner?
Meanwhile, Lock and Load is going to take East Phantom's place in the top lane.
And they're going to get 2 towers mid. That's tier 1 and tier 2 from a single Rift Herald. That's massive. That's huge. They actually just broke open the map with that one play.
Yes. So, yep, they got first and second tier turrets in pretty quick succession. So they're gonna be feeling a lot better and moving around a lot more. which they've actually been like punishing a lot of the
Oh,
overextending from Team Unknown already. Another turret
yeah.
goes down.
Team Unknown is being presented with a lot of problems, and they have yet to find any sort of solutions. They keep having Bear match East Phantom, which hasn't been able to work just yet, and it forces Death to rotate from mid to bot, and even he can't do anything to him. I feel like the solution might just be use Anivia to wave clear, but now with all the tier 1 and tier 2 towers gone from Team Unknown, it's just a matter of time for the Fall Guys to get a Baron and start knocking on their base's door, but instead they're knocking on their life. East Phantom chasing him down with a curtain call, but it's Alpha Milk that's caught with a flash fire, or frost fire of Anivia, but it's going to force him out of the river. And like we were talking about in the Champ Select, it's so difficult to fight into the river, get into this space, take up this space. They have to pull the trigger eventually. It has to be this Leona ult or this Ornn ult, but when will they pull the trigger? There comes the Jhin W, but nothing just yet. Here comes the Ornn Horn, and it's going to be found on 3. It's all the backline. Elijah's forced to flash out, but look at Alpha Milk. Look at East Phantom. They are destroying the front line and the back line. They have no solutions. A Victor Laser and a bouncing grenade is going to rip through Team Unknown, and it is an ace to get the Cloud Dragon and give the Fall Guys a quadra kill from the 4-man himself, Jhin. And we may have doubted them in Champ Select, but they are proving us wrong.
Eating my words here. That was when you have enough tank to be able to walk at them. What are they going to be able to do about it? What I wanted to see from Team Unknown was, instead of focusing on the dragon, still give up the dragon and just focus on trying to get those health bars down. You were being very aggressive, trying to contest the dragon when all you really needed was to just kill the enemy team. Which is usually different in when you're trying to play the macro game as usual. But like what. It's a Windrake. You'll be able to get that. Give up a dragon, kill one of them, and then just steamroll through the rest. But that's hard to do when you really want to take the dragon from them.
Well, and especially because the biggest issue that the Fall Guys are presenting Team Unknown is this Mundo and Volibear. They used all their CC on the backline. They used their clips from Leona on Elijah and Cubsy, but they're not even the issues in the fight. It's the front line. And that front line is now going to be able to tank Baron, do a lot of damage. Hero hasn't placed the ward. They're just now finding out they're on Baron, but Baron's already gone. It's snuck underneath their nose, and I mean, Team Unknown doesn't have the tools to even contest it, but that is the utility that they need to start knocking on the base and start looking at some inhibitors.
Yeah, that's the vision game goes a long way in order to keep something like that from happening. So now the Fall Guys is looking quite primed to probably just run it down mid in this case. Probably split like as they're doing one. Oh, it's 1-3-1 actually, and that makes a lot of sense. Just walk on down and keep putting a lot of pressure everywhere on the map all at one time. And right now I don't know about Victor going by himself though. That's a little bit.
I will say he's pretty safe right now, just with how desynced his wave is right now. I will say I wish he was with his 4 group. But East Phantom being looked on. They're using a lot of utility so far because they're hovering towards Victor. They're going to take a lot of damage to kill him, but they're going to kill him eventually. The shutdown going through, and to the Vayne of all people. What can Fall Guys get in return?
Both waves are crashing into mid and bot tower, but Bear wants to teleport in and go in.
Oh my god. And he's destroyed. It's a Blackfire Torch and a Liandry's from Lock and Load. That does a lot of damage to a fat HP bar like a Mr. Ornn, but it's going to be a stun to stall them away and actually secure their release from this take. Curtain Call going to be slowing a little bit. The angle's a bit awkward, but it's enough to get Kyoru down to 1 HP. The stun from Brand is going to force the flash out, but the passive and the root from Jhin is going to secure the kill. Calvier is next. They might just be able to win the game here. The Fall Guys from nowhere just winning a game, able to get the bot inhibitor, and they have Mundo TP. They could TP on this next wave, but he's actually TPing towards mid wave. They're looking for a mid inhibitor.
He's just going to walk in the Baron empowered minions. All these have to all the rest of his team has to do is just keep staggering the deaths here, and they're just going to slow roll this into a win. They don't have to force it if the minions are going to win for them.
But Vayne spawning in 7 seconds and Leona spawning there as well. I just think the mid wave was maybe a little too slow. But hey, if Death is chunked down to 1 HP from Brand and they're able to find bad guy Timo on the backside, the Leandries might actually tick him down. It does. Cubs able to find Death. It's a 3v5 now. They can now rotate to top inhibitor. And with this power play of Baron using all 3 minutes, they're able to find themselves 3 inhibitors, but they're disconnected. Volibear is recalling and so is Cubsy, while the rest of the team is finding the top tower. East Phantom taking a lot of damage from this turret and the Leona ult, that solar flare, but nothing just permanent. That death ray from Lock and Load pushing them away. Secures them the tower, but not yet the inhibitor.
There we go. Now we get the full teleport back. With them staggered like this, it's still 5v3. I still think going try to push and take that last inhibitor still would have been a decent call to make, because it's like I said before, where Mundo's gonna bring the minions in a little bit faster with the Baron empowered minions, and with them staggered in death so much that they're able to just take one inhibitor right after the next. And so that being 5v3 with the super minions knocking, like, they were able to take out a Nexus turret. And so even if you lose 1 or 2 in there, you could probably still get the get a triple inhibitor, and then you're just able to walk down the rest of the way. But still very solid play. All inhibitors are open. There's 1 Nexus turret up, and the Fall Guys are just gonna take a free dragon. They're on soul point. They're probably not even gonna get there. We might not even get to next Baron. They're looking to end the game now.
The question is, the 3 items for Vayne and Anivia, that 3rd item Spike, are they able to get it before they start knocking down the door? And it doesn't seem like Vayne is even able to recall. Faded Ashes being bought from Anivia as well, so that Leandries is not going to be finished just yet. Those are pretty big spikes that you're missing out on, especially when Jhin has finished his LDR and his Infinity Edge. A lot of big spikes on the side of the Fall Guys. And Team Unknown, if they're able to stall and get these 3 items from Vayne and Anivia, it might be a lot more competitive than you might think. But the Fall Guys just not letting it happen. The root going down on Udyr, and that's a big Heartsteel proc. A flash forced out, but the Dancing Grenade's going to secure the kill. Elijah dealing taking a decent amount of damage, but Cubsy is actually going to be taken away from the fight. Ornhorn going to cancel the curtain call. He was able to get that 4th shot with the flash forward. The Frostfire is not going to be enough, but Calviar on the other side is taking down a lonesome Volibear, as well as Lock and Load away from the fight. Elijah and East Phantom able to live and tell the tale of what went wrong, knocking on a door that was not inviting for him.
Well, at least you got the inhibitor. Tri-Hib will do a lot to help secure the Baron, and then you'll be able to walk in, but a bit of a misplay from the Fall Guys to lose so much for that.
I'm just staring at the items of Anivia and Vayne, and also of Victor. I'm so curious of how close this Rabadon's is. If he's able to like get out of spawn and like get wolves, recall, get Rabadon's, this Victor is so deadly. Leandry's being finished.
Yeah, let's see what the gold is. If we can get the observer to show us the gold. What's the gold value? How much does he need? Like 1100?
For Rabadon's right now, it's 1200 because they made needlessly large rods 1200 instead of 1250. So the combination gold is 1200 now. Wits End though on Vayne. Wits End being finished. That's a huge buy. Oh, Victor's 500 gold away. Okay, he's not that close. But Vayne finding Wits End, that's a big buy. He's able to survive Victor damage or Brand damage, whichever one he chooses to duel. And so even though they're going to get Baron, they might be able to fight back here.
And like Team Unknown can't contest. There's 3 inhibitors down. And a single inhibitor down will end the game. 3 inhibitors down, spawning double the amount of super minions per wave. You cannot let that come into your base unchecked. And now here comes the Fall Guys, about to make this game fall all the way down.
But look at top. Lock and Load is like pleading for his team not to do anything just yet. He took Krugs, enemy Krugs. He got 300 gold from the Baron. He just barely finished top wave. He's gonna get 1 more. This wave is what gets the Rabadons. And he has TP. He can tell his team, hey guys, just chill. Like, someone get bot wave, push it in, let me get Rabadons. But actually, he doesn't care. Maybe I'm just lying. I'm hearing some voices in my head because now they're starting to crunch. But these waves are mistimed. It's giving Death and Bad Guy Timo a lot of time to get the wave clear. A cleaver going down on Death, securing Brand a little bit of space. But like I said before, Calvier with the Wits End, able to flash onto lock and load. He gets Cubsy. He's going to get the victor as well. He's going to fall, but he got 2 on his way out. But the rest of the team is not enough damage. Death is going to go into Egg from the curtain call. Bear is going to be chunked to 1 HP. Kyoro is going to maybe try to pull a wave, but it does not matter when there are no more Nexus towers to defend. Kyoro, a little bit AFK as he watches the rest of his team fall, and the Nexus plus 50 goes to Elijah V1, and the Fall Guys take the first game.